Salute and thank you, NERDSoul. Oh, yeah. Lay ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that Street Geek and NERDSoul. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's go. We talking about Daredevil, Born Again, episode 7, Art for Art's Sake. And we're not by ourselves. Right in the bottom square, we have Jay Shearer. What's up?
What's up? I'm always happy to have these conversations, no matter if I like the episodes or not. So here we go. Here we go.
And also we have from the Wizard's Tower, Solar Gray. What's up?
Hello, everyone. This is Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, coming at you from the Wizard's Tower as my familiar is looking at me strangely. And yeah, so I guess today we're going to be talking about righteousness.
All right, so I'll start off saying this. For those of you that have read like the storyline that has Muse in it in the comic arc, this episode, you could have went there. And I feel like you got cold feet. You could have gone there. And you didn't. And I'm kind of upset that you didn't. Like, there's a part of me that's like, oh, you chickened out, huh? And I mean, of course, this doesn't have to be Saw, but after showing the subway dungeon and all the blood and stuff, I feel like we could have cut a scene where, maybe you're seeing just his face, meaning Daredevil, looking at a wall, but of course he can't see, and just like trying to figure out what's going on, and then touching it with his hand and immediately knowing, and then, but you chickened out, didn't you? You chickened out. See, Disney, you tried to trick us. You show him breaking bones and stuff, but you didn't really do it, did you? You didn't really do it. Shame on you, Disney. Shame on you.
What's the comic? What happens in the comic? I gotta know. I haven't read it.
In the comic, when we first meet Muse's work, there is a full mural painted on the wall, on like this large wall, and this, I guess, can't remember if it's like an art studio or something like that, but it's a huge wall. It's all painted. It's all red, and then we find out that it's blood, and it's like a huge. It's like, so, one wall could have been cleared off and painted. It could have been that. But what did we get? We got booger blood. That's what we got. All we got was booger blood. But in the comic book, it was really devastating because you look at the art and you're like, oh man, this is really cool, but it's all red, and you're like, what is this painted in? So that's Muse's kind of like big introduction in the book, because I can't remember who Daredevil was working with, but he was working with somebody, like another hero, and basically he kind of like described what was on the wall. But
When Electra, was it? Because I know she came back.
Nah, it was another guy. I can't remember his name. But someone in the comments will let us know. But Disney, you could have, and you dropped the ball, man. Dropped the ball. It upsetting. But I'll let it go to you guys. How do you feel about the I guess I'll throw it out to Jay first. How do you feel about the therapy session?
So here I'm actually throw it to Solar, because Solar had such an accurate prediction of what I didn't like about the episodes and what I liked about them last week, that I want to hear what Solar says is what I'm going to say, because I have a feeling he knows.
Honestly, on this one, I'm so caught up in my head, I can't see into yours.
Fair enough. So, okay. There is nothing wrong with this episode. Well, there's one thing wrong with this episode, which we can talk about that I thought was a really weird gimmick. But I think what's strange to me, and this has been my complaint about the entire show all the way through, is that, man, they're just hitting you with a lot of stuff that feels like it could have been in a previous episode to set us up to be revealed later. Like, I don't understand why we wouldn't have some clips of, what was the kid's name, Connor or something? It was some weird name.
Bastion.
Yeah.
Why don't you do what you dream, Bastion?
Yeah. Yeah. So why not show us 4 episodes ago, some sessions with Bastion, and we kind of get a feel for she's helping him out, but it's not really working that well. Why wait till it's this late in the game to give us one of those things? Because it's very obvious that it's him the minute that it cuts to him.
Yeah, the second he comes in there, I'm like, that's the guy, right? But
the
then
guy.
also,
You mean at the book signing? Are you taking on any new patients? I'm not a crazy person. I just need a therapist. Yeah. Looking like a chihuahua.
So that was my only issue, is it felt like, again, we're being rushed through a thing, which is, I feel like it's odd to be rushed through a thing. I feel like a lot of things have to go wrong in pre-production for you to release a really good prior series. You've already took the time to say, let's switch things up and let's do something differently. Maybe that's why they're rushing it, because they already canned whatever it was they were going to do last time. Like, since that's gone off the table, you got to do something real fast. And then that's all they had. But outside of that, the only thing that bothered me in the episode was the Daredevil feeling her face, and then he knows that it's her face in the artwork, even though I'm like, bro, there's no way.
Do you know how good he is?
Do you know how
good Daredevil is? He's like, that's definitely my girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of.
Well, he did feel multiple pieces. So technically, he cross-referenced the papers with his hands. And then he knew.
Yeah. My wife
I'm not
turned to me
upset about all that, because we all know that Daredevil's superpower is that he can see.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. But my wife turned to me when he did that, and she was like, "This is so stupid." I'm like, well, I don't know what to say. But I other than that, I think the episode is it actually gives us quite a few things that are intriguing. Because it gives us the task force now has nothing to do but go after Daredevil, right?
Yeah,
and Fisk and his wife are now at odds with one another because she literally tried to kill the guy, and it perceptively he knows that. So although that could probably be debated.
Yeah, I'll add in, but keep going.
Yeah. So I think it's an interesting episode. The fight scene was good. I liked it. It felt a little bit. Here's what I'm having a hard time with, and this is not fair. I'm curious as to the general viewer, and if I spend a lot of time when I'm writing. I spend a lot of time on plot and arcs and how characters work their arcs into the plot, and so it's really hard for me.
Never work for Disney.
Yes, I know,
because they're gonna cut half of your book or half of your movie.
Well, and that's what's really hard for me. It's hard for me to step back and go, don't worry about that stuff. I just can't do it. It's kind of like saying like if there's something that you really care about, like if you're a comic book fan and you really care about how accurate it is to the comics and like preserving some of the things that you loved, and then they don't do that, and you're like, it's really hard for me to love this because I already think that this was better in a different context. That's like, imagine me,
Gotcha.
but it's in the, how did you set things up? How did you foreshadow things? How did you have this character's arc moving? How did you have these other characters coming in? What's exactly going? So it's almost impossible for me to remove that from my analysis of it.
Gotcha.
And it's so all over the place that I'm having a hard time understanding, should I care about the stakes? Do I care enough about his therapist girlfriend to be like this concerned about her? Do I know that Muse is like also sort of sexually perverted the way he's treating her, and now I'm supposed to, or is this like a new thing he's doing because he has a crush? I don't know these things, and it's driving me crazy because I've not been given enough information to like put this together in my brain. And so I think if you're a kind of viewer who, I think Solar is really good at this. If Solar is really good at basically saying like, well, I'm going to add in some story elements and take some things that they kind of foreshadowed in maybe kind of a lesser way, and I'm going to build my own stories into this thing and kind of make it mine. I'm not good at that. I'm like, it's not there. I don't know what to do with it. I don't like it.
I'll say this before Solar comes in. Even if we had a scene before Kingpin and Vanessa come in of Bastion leaving and her kind of clearly blocking one of his advances, like, I'm sorry, no, as your therapist, I just can't. I'm sorry, but have a nice day, whatever. And he walks out, and then they come in, and we're like, oh, okay, try to holler, and then we would have that would have been it. But I will say this: I saw the Vanessa thing differently. I thought she served him up to Kingpin. But maybe I could have been wrong on that one. But Solar, what you got on the therapy session, man? How are you feeling with your therapist? We're our number one therapist on this show, I guess.
Yeah, number one on this show, because Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting is still number one. So how do I feel on this? I can tell you. Having been in therapy for a very long time, my first impulse to ask is how it makes you feel. No, so I can't let the joke pass by. Every good therapist makes you want to punch them every once in a while. I mean, yeah, sorry guys. And we talk about this on my Twitch channel, but a good therapist makes you look at the places that make you really uncomfortable, and they make you look at things and you end up going, shut up! And then they remind you, okay, I'll shut up, but you'll have to look into it. I don't mind if you're mad, because see, I'm paid by the hour. And so, yeah. However, in this one, I have to 100% agree with Jay. Okay. We got 2 scenes, technically 3 scenes in the whole show featuring Bastion doing what he dreams and our good doctor. And this is the obvious, like, there are 2 things about it, which is, one, I thought I was watching Daredevil and not the Star Wars prequels.
Oh,
because
man.
Let me cook. Year is 1998. There's going to be a new Star Wars movies. And they show a poster. They do the John Williams music. And then they show footage of this amazing dude with a red face, a bunch of horns, doing kung fu in a way that we're not used to seeing Jedis. And then he shows his lightsaber, and the second one comes out, and
Ooh.
we're like, oh
That was
man,
it. That was it.
we're as
We
Patton
lost our
Oswald
minds.
would say, we're like a puppy, you know, like thinking it's about to go for a walk. We're like, oh man, and then the movie comes out, and oh man, and then he jumps off a motorcycle, gets cut in half, and then we move on to the next movie. And we're like, but the guy with the red and the Liam Neesons, and did the pod race scene have to go so long? Because I want to see that guy in the red do more flipping with the lightsaber staff thing. That can I have my $7 back? For those of you guys that don't know, movies were $7 back. Just letting you know.
Man.
You can get a matinee for $4.25
Let
where I
me-
live.
Let me pause real quick. I want you guys to look into my eyes. All right, you right here, right there at home on your phone, while you're on the subway, wherever you are. My mom could drop me off at the mall with $10. I could get something to eat and go to the movie and get popcorn. All right, with $10.
I didn't mean for us to break into choruses from Archie Bunker, you know. Those were the days.
Oh man.
And so we get all this hype with Muse. The comic fans are going, oh man, they're bringing in a serial killer. Daredevil can't see him. He's actually, it's like Venom and Spider-Man and no Spidey sense. And he's doing the whole Saw thing. And you know, he's got the Jigsaw thing going. And he's kind of like the Hannibal Lecter. And he could fight. And yeah, and then we get the dude who evidently only had 2 days on set before he has to go film more stuff for the boys. And you know, and then we get that scene, and for the life of me, and I've watched this episode 4 times and I still can't remember where his nose started bleeding. I'm like, wait, did I miss? I blinked, and then his nose is bleeding, and he's painting with his blood, and he's like, I see your true self, and I'm like, okay.
Can we just also? I'm gonna let you cook, and I want you to cook because you're cooking, and I like it. But can we also can I just put a pin in this? Can we stop having people's nosebleeds when they experience something? Because we've Stranger Things was the last one to do it, where it's like, okay, we'll let you have it, but no more nosebleeds.
Because you're like, you're really stressing. I guess it's mental, and you're like,
I gotta disagree. I gotta.
You want more nosebleeds, Solar?
I'm fine with the nosebleed.
Okay.
Because it's a great visual shortcut.
It is
to show that a person's busted.
Yeah.
And bleeding from the ears means you're concussed. And bleeding from the eyes is a little too much.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, if we're not going to have the nosebleed, how else do we show it? Do they lose a tooth?
Dude, I don't know.
You know?
But they got to do something different.
So I can forgive that.
Okay.
But what I can't forgive, what I can't forgive is Hollywood. I'm begging you guys. It's the 21st century, okay? We've got ChatGPT, we got Perplexity, we got Google, we even still got Jeeves out there asking for change under the turnpike. All right? The information is at our fingertips to show more than 3 levels of crazy, okay? There's more than Hannibal Lecter. There, because the 3 main "look at me, I'm crazy" tropes are the Hannibal Lecter intense stare into the eyes with a complete flat affect, but I can see everything about you. The "I'm crazy, now watch me hit you with a fish," while I pretend to be a 6-year-old girl. And of course, the whiny incel that breaks personal space. We need to get past those 3 tropes. Okay? We brought up comics. I gotta say, the way that Thanos is written in comics, that's a good way to show crazy. Because we see him having all these conversations with Lady Death and her talking back and her giving him all this, all of this grief and him arguing with her. And then we pull back to one of his henchmen, seeing him have this whole conversation with a dead body. I'm like, okay, this is why he's called the Mad Titan, because we see his perspective, then we pull back and it's like, oh yeah, he's crazy. Okay, yeah, but you can't be like, hey boss, you want a soda? I didn't grind up your meds and put them in because I know you'll blast me. But that kind of thing. So when we had the therapy session, I'm like, how many sessions has this guy had? Because he's talking about the taekwondo, and it's you, doctor, it's you. You understand me. You remind me of the girl that turned me down for homecoming when I was in the 9th grade and my voice started cracking. You understand it. I'm relatable. It was just
so fast.
Now don't get me wrong. Broken clocks are right twice a day. Because the I know what you're thinking line, that was straight fire. I'm sorry. I gotta be there. And I know what you're thinking. Do I have time to get to the door? No. Because and that's personal bias, because I think one of my favorite lines that Stephen King ever wrote was in It. When the lady is stirring her tea, it turns to blood and she's looking at, and before she looks up at Beverly, she says, if you're smart, you'll run now. And I'm like, okay, we got evil giving a warning. Like, wow. I'm gonna count to 5. I like that part.
Yeah, the remakes are hot. Like, I'm just being honest. The remakes are hot. I know there's some, I know there's some roommates? Feelings about them, but the new It.
Yeah. New It.
In my opinion,
I'm fine with the new It.
Fire.
I'm perfectly fine, but it put food on my table, so I can't be mad at it.
Yeah.
But what I will say on that is I have seen 71 Pintos that were less clunky than the dialogue in the freaking therapy scenes. All right? I was afraid that if my dog bumped the dresser that I have my TV on, the whole thing would explode, just like a 73 Pinto. Because, man, that was such a like the impromptu therapy session that she had with Matt just out of the shower, that was better than what the character was being paid for. And his whole thing of like, I've just now come here because I know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to hurt you now because it's art. Stop it. Just stop it. And then her full 180, like, I'm actually gonna blame the writer, not the director, not the actress. With the anybody who wears a mask is a coward type thing. I'm like, was there a studio mandate or something? You know what? I think that scene was like the last thing that writer did that night. Just, I need to get done with this conversation, then I can go to bed. And then he woke up the next morning and he didn't proofread it. That's what it felt like. That's what that whole scene felt like.
I'll go. I'm gonna leave this scene alone for a while because I know we beat it. We beat this scene up, so I'm gonna let this scene go. I want to talk about Daniel.
This scene still owe me money. I got some more stomping to do on it, but we'll do that. We'll do that as a separate video.
All right, I gotta talk about Daniel for a second. Just because you're close to power, like, reel it in. He's like, there's a big carrot and a big stick situation. You could be rich, but you don't want. She's like, are you threatening me? Like, dude, like, you're not. It's just you're not scary, and you're sitting in Kingpin's chair. Like, you gonna mess around and get yourself killed. You gonna mess around because you gonna overplay your hand and think you cooler with him than you really are, you gonna mess around and get killed.
I see.
By the
That
way,
scene
why did
annoyed
they
me because
abandon-
he thought he was more than he was.
Yeah. And why did they abandon her side stories? Like her side stories of the interviews in the city
Yeah,
were cool. Like we all liked those.
and it
But
kind
they
of gave you a
abandoned
little
those.
temperature of what was going on throughout the
Yeah.
show. And like they haven't been around for like the last 3 episodes now.
Yeah.
Honestly, there have been a decent amount of complaints that I've seen about the cell phone camera scenes.
Really?
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've seen, and again, I can see the writers going, this was a good idea at the beginning, but it's getting old. Let's just show some stock footage of the city. Let's just show the city and the regular no, put the iPhone away. Or maybe that intern actually found a paying job. I don't know. But yeah, so I guess I'm the only one on the panel today that remembers high school.
I was homeschooled.
Because
I don't remember.
I'm sorry.
I didn't go to high school.
I remember like some parts.
Oh, so you evidently don't remember the part where there was the actual cool guy or dangerous guy and the guy to his left?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've even seen the guy to his left get told to shut up because he was doing too much. And I think Kingpin's version of a shut up is probably going to be death.
And I'm really glad that Daniel is that character. I really am. Because the last time we saw him, he was like, it takes a lot of bravery. And you are my number 3. A guy. As his number 1 guy is going, he ain't gonna make number 2. But he's like, yeah, I'm the Kingpin's number 3. Look at me, I'm untouchable. I answer to 2 people.
When he was chilling in the chair, I was like, oh God.
That honestly, it's like that one coworker that you really don't like being promoted to assistant manager. You know exactly what that is.
Yeah. It's like, because when they get the promotion, you're like, I hope this doesn't go to their head. But they already pretend like they got the clipboard already. So this is going to go to their head. Even though it could be a situation where it's like, they're going to insert themselves in everything now.
Yes, they are.
I can feel it.
And you know what? Every organization needs that. Every single one.
What, the buffer class of the organization?
I'm sorry to bring this to your attention, but in season 2, it was kind of Karen. Because she knew she had both Daredevil and the Punisher in her corner, and she had just taken out Owen. So she was going back and forth between, I can handle myself, and there's a monster under my bed. And his name is Frank. And there's a monster in my closet, and his name is Matt.
Man.
So there's always just a little bit. I'm actually taken back to The Sopranos in the episode where the doctor was SA'd on the stairwell, and she had to wrestle with that. And she decided, no, I might have a pit bull, but that ain't me. That's not me. Versus Tony Soprano's left-hand guy, played by Joey Pants, that he ended up having to beat to death because he was acting exactly that way. Every organization has it, especially criminal organizations that are just like, yeah, I'm untouchable. Look at me. Except for the Penguin. The Penguin didn't have one of those guys.
Yeah, you're right. The Penguin, actually, you know what? It seems kind of like Vanessa was in the situation where, can't remember the kid's name now.
Victor?
Yeah, Victor. Where Victor was, if people had started deciding that they liked him more. But it's just the energy around the people that are around Kingpin. You got the lady that's running the kind of like the campaign stuff. I'm pretty sure she knows Kingpin at least used to be in the game, but she's like, hey, I'm working for the mayor. Like she said, I was here before y'all. I'll be here after y'all. Then you got the dude, the smoke and mirrors guy. He's down
bruh.
probably. He doesn't
His
seem like a true. Oh, go ahead.
Is number one.
Yeah,
that's Kingpin's number one. A guy.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like a true believer, but he seems like he's like, if the check don't bounce, you got me. Yeah. That's kind of what he seems like.
He's Chris from The Wire.
Okay, I can see that. All right,
he's working for a monster, but he knows his place. He knows his job. Chris from The Wire. I can't believe I forgot his name, but homie from Breaking Bad. Bald guy. Dead shark eyes.
I can't remember
Not
his
Walter.
name. I know his face. I know his face, but I can't think of his name. But he was completely fine.
Mike.
Oh yeah,
Mike from
Mike.
Breaking Bad.
Mike.
He had no problem with hey, look, I hurt people, and that's what I got to do.
I heard people. The checks clears, and if you keep your mouth shut, we all have it good.
Yep.
Oh
Shut
man,
up and do your job.
By the way, because you brought up Penguin, the reason why I got Victor so fast was because I have it open. Because one of the things I was going to comment on was Solar's point about like stop making 3 versions of Crazy. Well, if you think about Penguin, his mom's a different version of mentally ill. Sophia Falcone is a different version of mentally ill.
Facts.
And Penguin himself is a different version of mentally ill. Like, it was like so well done.
And honestly, the Sophia character could have easily been written as the whoop whoop woo, I hit you with a fish.
Yes.
Because everybody should be Joker. That's the only flavor of bad guy crazy, right?
Yes.
And so I get it, and I get that they're trying to make him kind of sympathetic and all that stuff, but we're away from that scene. So we're talking about Little Mister. I'm a big man now. Look at me. I just grew as a fish. Yeah, look at this fishing pond. I'm sitting in the mayor's chair. I know who I work for, and you know what? I'm good with it. So this is a carrot and stick situation, girl. And the thing I really liked about it that I have to bring up, because we haven't yet, is the fact that when he played that, how did she react? Because she was like, boy, those britches are barely past your ankles at this point. You know what? I'm not going to run the story, but, you think that you're hot stuff? Nah, bro, you are cold diarrhea in a paper cup. You wait.
She didn't seem too shaken. It seemed more like it was, you know what? This is a battle. I'll let this battle. I can lose this one. I can lose this.
Exactly.
Like, you know what? I can lose this one.
It's like when you're 15 points ahead in the game and somebody gets a 3-pointer off. And you're like, I could block it, but I'm tired.
It's like
there's only a
and
minute.
Then you tell the bruiser on the team, like, don't foul him on the next play. Just let it go. Like, don't. Like, I know. Normally we would do this. I'm looking at you, Detroit. My brother told me they were in a fight like again last week. I was like, what? Like, what is going on?
Although every time you watch an NBA fight, you're like, is that a fight or is that just
like guys pushing each other around a little bit?
Pushing each other around, throwing their arms at each other.
I'm sorry. The only fights I know that happen in any sport is hockey.
Yeah, those are fights.
Yeah, those are like sanctioned fights.
Games broke out. I mean,
that's what like tickets are bought for.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I like that he was doing the I'm really big for my britches. Look at me, because we want to see him set the path for his own destruction.
I can see that.
I mean, evidently the writers are like, well, if we have to cut half of the season, we should set up for Tony Soprano's kid to set up everything for his own fall. They'll get Muse is the bad guy. We'll just have him.
Yeah, because
we can wrap that up real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah, and wrap that up real quick is such a bummer because he was a good villain until we saw his real face. Then he was like, okay, wait a minute. Now it's the, Go ahead.
Yeah, there's no way that 20-something-year-old is going to fight Mac Murdock and his dad's strength.
Yeah. Because he did Taekwondo for 3 months.
Okay.
No, 3 years. He did Taekwondo.
Is it 3 years? Oh, that was 3 months.
But he hit Mac square in the face with 4 roundhouse kicks, and Mac kept coming. Like that fateful time you looked at your own father saying, "I'm tired of you, old man, come on." And he let you have the first 3 punches.
So I'm going to say this. Due to the way this episode just ended, I never thought I would say this when this show was announced. Due to the way this episode ended and how Muse, in my opinion, was wasted, I don't really care about the last 2 episodes.
Really?
And I know that I would have never thought I would say this when this show was announced. When they told us the cast was coming back, I would have never thought when they brought everybody on stage, and then Punisher came on stage too. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be awesome. Like, it's still here. And now, I mean, I'm gonna watch because we've been watching them, but it's like when they got rid of Muse like this, it's like all the wind in my sails. It was because I was like, I thought we would have had more time. We only saw him like for 2 seconds, and I mean, yes, he got 60 people, but he was supposed to be this big menace, and now I'll watch it, but after the last episode, I was like, oh man, these last 3 episodes are really gonna, blow our minds, and Muse is probably gonna be, he's gonna be an issue, he's gonna be a problem until the finale, and now I'm just like, well, I guess we got 2 more episodes left. Like, that's kind of just how I feel. I don't hate it, but it's just there. And I shouldn't feel like that about Daredevil Born Again. Like, I should be excited. I thought, because after 5 and 6, I thought the show was like finally picking up. Like, okay, cool, here we go. We're picking up. We, we ate our vegetables. Now we get to eat cake. And I don't know, man.
So what you're feeling right now,
help me feel better.
Here's what you're feeling right now is how I feel about Marvel overarchingly.
Okay.
So I know that that's rough, but people are trying to hype me up. I told you guys last week I was going to do another show where we talked about the Avengers Doomsday reveal, right? And I was saying this on that show. I was just saying, like, my problem is not that you have bad actors or that you have like I haven't seen Chris Evans as Captain America, so therefore I'm pissed off. That's not my problem. So if you show me a lineup of names on chairs, you haven't solved my problem. The problem is you keep releasing movies that are just mediocre and make me regret that I spent my money on them and my time on them. So
wait, didn't your father ever give you a piggy bank to teach you the value of saving?
I know, that's the thing. I need to save my money and not give it to Marvel. But like, if you give me the Penguin, okay, now I'm spending my money, right? I'll break open that piggy bank and I'll spend my money. So I think this is it's just another example of feeling the way you do, Michael, but about the MCU overall. And me going,
I'll give you that.
Do I want to watch the next show? Because every time you fool me into getting hyped, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, because this season, but
wow.
It seems like the problem is the leadership, because we don't know what the 18 episodes could have looked like. We have no idea.
I feel like the 18 episodes would have been fire.
It could have been awesome.
Yes.
But what we got is, I mean, try try making a cake for the same amount of people, but with half the ingredients.
Everybody gets cupcakes.
The mini ones.
Exactly. You just need smaller pans.
And in that case, you're right. There are small parts of this show this season that I've liked.
Same.
Episode 5 and 6, really liked them. But that's Disney Plus as a whole. Ahsoka had like, what was it, episode 4, 5, and 6 that were really good, and the rest was just like,
those are amazing. Yeah.
So so it's almost like they had a good movie in there, but they were like, let's stretch it out to a series. Like, well, just make like a cool movie and just let that be. Yep. Or since you have a streaming service, like I said, you could just do cool specials. Like, say if a writer comes to you or a director comes to you or someone pitches, like, all right, look, I don't have 10 episodes, but I got a hot 50 minutes. Cool. Let's shoot that. Let's just do that. It's just Marvel does one shots all the time. Just do that.
Are you talking about like annual issues?
Yeah, do that. They did the one special that was awesome that I thought we were going to open the door to the supernatural side, and they were like, no, never mind.
Yeah, Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, they were like,
I thought you were going to bring up the Guardians Christmas special. I'm like, really?
Oh no. I still haven't watched that because it just
I like
looked
that.
bad.
I actually like that. It was
it's good? Is it
I
good?
thought it was good. Did you like it, Solar?
I wanted to like it.
Yeah.
But it laid the groundwork for Angry Mantis, and I didn't really like Angry Mantis. Because she went from the adorable little character that you don't quite know what she does except for puts people to sleep by touching their heads to yelling and screaming like I'm like, dude, tonal whiplash.
That's a fair point.
However, everything else about it, I liked, and Karen Gilliam is always fun to watch. It was so great when they were talking about, again, only Marvel could lay down the money to book and contract an actor specifically to roast them.
Yeah.
And you know what? Hats off to Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
He is still the Kevin Bacon that we all knew and loved from the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know what, Kevin Bacon, I want to buy you a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Because he had to have such a great sense of humor about himself to be in the Guardians Christmas special. And I'm even willing to bet that was his actual house. So I was all right with the Guardians special, but I understand where you guys are both coming from. And I'm kind of going, guys, these creators, there are two things, and this is something I get on people about all the time. Okay? Number one, we are not 11 years old anymore.
True.
Okay? We are educated in the field of creating these things that we are talking about. Okay? So we're going to look at it in the same way that my mom looked at young me watching Pee-wee's Playhouse, or that I looked at my kids watching Barney and the Teletubbies. Okay, I don't get it. Okay, it's bright and it has certain frequencies and certain pitches, and it shuts the kids up long enough for me to take my nap. Okay, fine. Eventually, I'll introduce you to Spider-Man. But what I'm hearing from you guys is you guys want a type of show, and I get it. You guys sound like me talking about a Tyler Perry movie where I'm going, pick a tone. Is this a horror movie?
Tyler Perry's at the point now where it's like, okay, just show me what's going to happen.
Well, again, it's
like, it's going to be crazy, so what you got?
Is this a horror movie? Is this a suspense thriller? Is this a superhero show? Is this a procedural? Is this a lawyer drama? What am I watching? And I get that, okay? I really get that. But when I look at that stuff, outside of Tyler Perry movies, I can pick something that I like. Like,
sure.
I'm not invested in whether or not Matt's going to put on the suit again. I know he is. I'm not invested. on how much he's going to torture himself. Because I've been reading Daredevil since the 80s.
Right.
Okay? He's the only character out there that flagellates himself more than Peter Parker. Okay, and Peter Parker feels guilty about oh no, the sun's out, Mary Jane, every single, like every fourth issue, I'm interested in the character interaction, because the thing between he and Kingpin goes deep, goes long, has been the thing over every Daredevil franchise. It doesn't matter if we're talking the cartoon or the cartoon appearances he had on the Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s, the Daredevil the first appearance of Daredevil on screen, and the Trial of the Incredible Hulk in 1985 when the Kingpin was played by not John Rhys Meyers, but I forgot his name. Sala, Gimli, Treebeard.
Oh, John Rhys Davies.
Yeah, John Rhys Davies. Okay. Huge man, by the way. He's like 6'7". Even that abomination of a movie from 98 with Ben Affleck and Michael Clark Duncan, rest in power. It's always Daredevil and the Kingpin. And when I'm looking at Daredevil, specifically Daredevil, I always knew it was kind of a dumping ground, because Daredevil is very much tier 2 everything. It's, did it work in Spider-Man? No, it didn't. Do we want to get rid of the copyright? No, we don't. Okay, put it in Daredevil. That's what it's always been. Dude, the Owl, a Spider-Man villain. Stiltman, Spider-Man villain. Bullseye, the Punisher, and Kingpin, all Spider-Man villains. And if they don't work for our friendly neighborhood webhead, we're just shoving them into Daredevil and seeing what we can make work. Okay, that's what Marvel's always done. All right, so the superheroing aspect of Daredevil, never really cared. But the character interactions, as far as I'm concerned, this might be called Daredevil Born Again, but it should really be called Wilson Fisk Going Straight. I mean, seriously, that's because you can tell the writers.
Wait, really?
Yeah, exactly. Like the end question mark. Except Wilson Fisk giving up crime. This should really be called Kingpin No More.
Maybe it's because those two have been separated for so long this season. Maybe that's it. But okay, here's my pushback on the We're Not 11 anymore. I get what you're saying, but I went into Sonic 3, and when Sonic and Shadow jumped up in the frame together and were like, I was like, and I'm the same person that has read all this and watched all this and studied all this. It's their fault for not making me hype. It's their fault. It's not my fault. Like I've watched Sonic 1, 2, and 3. Loved them all. Now, I mean, I guess you could say my expectation is different because it's Sonic.
Now,
so I guess you could say
animation
that.
Tickles the part of the brain that brings up nostalgia more. When you're looking at real people in real places, it tickles a different part.
Donut Lord is real.
So who's the show? Who's the show for then, Solar? If it's not for us,
yeah, exactly. This show is for people that don't have our training and education with comics. This show is for your wife's best friend. Okay.
But do you think they're watching it?
Yeah, but and why make that show when we all loved the Netflix Daredevil?
Because there's more of them, and Disney is about safe.
But then why? I guess why try to?
They're about safe and the largest audience.
Yeah.
Okay?
But why try to pretend it's going to be the Netflix thing if you want to go for the broader audience?
That was
not just be like, hey guys, it's not that. It's something different.
It was going to be the Netflix thing. They said Daredevil Born Again coming to Disney Plus, and Feige himself was even saying we might be using the same actors, but it's going to be a variant universe. then they kind of went back on it, but then they kind of went there. The fact that that war between Perlmutter and Feige making Netflix an entirely different universe is at the root of that problem. Okay, but
I'll give you
we
that.
brought
I'll
up
give you that.
the good comic book show, or the
give you
better
that.
comic book show in The Penguin.
Right.
Warner Brothers takes risks.
Yes.
You know, they trust that
Yeah,
the
they
audience
do.
is going to show up, so they're going to be
That's why
like,
they've been sold like 3 times.
well, not. I mean, yeah, well, you know, but yeah, they're like, they make the Penguin, and it's like, you know what? We're going to take one of the dumbest villains from Batman, the fat guy with an umbrella, and we're going to do a crime drama, and we're never going to show Batman. We're not even going to talk about Batman. We're just going to show this.
Yeah.
The show was
And-
so good. I was like, that should be
Exactly.
their known formula. Like the show was so good. I was like, I don't care about what James Gunn is doing. Stop it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Exactly.
stop it. Like,
Yeah.
just sweep
Now,
that
real
away.
talk.
Whoever made this show and the Batman with Matt Reeves and whoever, that this is the new formula. Movie, series. Just give me this level of intensity. I don't care if it's a happy character, a sad character, whatever. Just this level of intensity, attention to detail, and I'm happy.
Now, you tell me
And
this.
then you were like, well, forget that because it's James Gunn time.
Well, yeah. Now you tell me this. Do you think that Disney, Marvel Disney, okay, has it in them to say, make a TV show or a movie about a third or fourth tier character that mentions nothing about the rest of the city? Like, do you honestly think that we would get an X-Men that never calls the Avengers? That never talks about the Avengers?
I could see that. But now that this is random, side note. Now that we've referenced Penguin and how good Penguin is and never shows Batman, I think they only talk about him like 2 or 3 times. And that's
They
like on the
show
news
the
or something like
signal
that.
in the last 5
Yeah.
seconds of
Like
the
on the
final
news, I think
episode.
they talk about him at the beginning.
Yeah.
There is no excuse, Sony. There's no excuse. No excuse for all that badness. No excuse. I don't want to hear, well, we didn't have Spider-Man. No excuse. Because they didn't have Batman, probably between him and Spider-Man and maybe Superman, the most sellingest toy box, book bag, hats,
Okay.
t-shirts. Like, I don't want to hear it. They took one of the
you just-
wackest villains.
Now, you just answered your exact question. Okay, both of you guys just answered the question for both of you guys. Who is this for? It's for the whole family because of that merchandising. Okay, if Disney is
But it
going to
can
do
be
Daredevil,
good and about merchandising. Like
they make a lot
Transformers was
more.
about toys, but it was also
No.
good.
What was about toys?
Transformers.
Watch it again.
I have up until Hot Rod comes in. I still think it's solid.
Well, I also would push back on it's for the whole family, because then why use the F word why come in here and say,
Oh no, it's not for the family to gather around and sit and watch like they're watching Inside Out. Okay,
yeah,
it's for dad to watch,
uh-huh,
mom to be around, and then the kids run in asking for another cup of water. No, you can't have one. Go to bed. But they don't want to traumatize that kid too much. That's why you only got 2 shots in 3 different episodes of Muse's Meat Palace. You know,
Not the Meat Palace.
that's why you
Sounds like a bad restaurant with like a
You know,
C on the
that's-
door.
That's why they always do this intermittent cutscenes with the fights. Because remember, in the Netflix show, every fight was a oneer. Every single fight was a oneer. I don't care if it was in a hallway, on a roof, or whatever. It was always the one tracking shot, except for when Wilson decapitated a man with the door to an SUV. Then they had to cut back and forth because they were like, we're trying to be gritty, but this is still Netflix show and we still Disney. But yeah, but they went as close to that line of this ain't for you, go to bed, as they could. But now that it's on Disney Plus, they're like, this is connected to the rest of the universe, and we need to sell them action figures, them pencil boxes, them folders, them backpacks. You know, and
Yeah, that's probably
Netflix
fair.
was
That's
like,
probably
they gonna buy the
fair.
backpacks anyway, so show the Punisher blowing pedophiles away. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, seriously.
I think it's
You know.
fair, but I feel like if that's the case, then they need to stick to doing Civil War over and over again and not
Oh.
getting this depth.
Real talk, I understand where they're coming from,
Yeah,
and I do not expect them to do it well.
yeah,
I can't expect
It's
that.
just tough because, like I said, this show, I don't hate the show, but it's like it hovers around, like it like tiptoes up to an 8, and then
Yes.
it walks right back to a 4, then it
Yes.
comes up to a 6, then it
Yes.
goes back, and it's just like, oh man, especially like I say, after 5 and 6, which I like both of those episodes, I was like, cool, good, we're on the way, and
Now,
I was like,
I
hold up, Muse is
wonder-
dead. You left the
I
girl alive.
wonder-
Now we're gonna have this whole like, I wonder if she knows it's me, and I'm like, I know that's coming next episode. I know
Oh, yeah.
it's coming.
And see, that's what I was going to bring up. This episode screams editorial interference.
Oh, totally.
Like, okay, we've got this cool serial killer thing going and all that stuff. And I can see the guys writing the checks going, you know what? That sounds good. That sounds dramatic. But I'm thinking third act breakup, and does she know?
Yeah.
What does my pen say?
The eye roll that I'm doing, especially since they chopped the show in half, I'm sure, all the writers from Marvel watch this podcast, so I'm sure they're like, I was
Shouts
doing
out,
that same
guys.
eye roll like 3 years ago, same eye roll. Like I left his office like, no problem, sounds like a good idea. And then when he leaves, I was like,
We got to do a third act. We're trying to make a superhero crime drama, not a rom-com, you know?
it's like we didn't
And-
like the girl. We didn't want to add the girl in here anyway. I know, but now we had to add the girl. Now the girl got to still be alive. Like, why would she still be alive? Why couldn't we kill her? Well, they said we couldn't kill her because I don't know. I guess
Look, I
she
take
got
you
to be
back to
around for
Spider-Man
eye
3.
candy for him or something. I don't know.
I take you back to Spider-Man 3. Sony
man.
straight up looked at Sam Raimi, and you know what they said? We're going to give you a few more $1 million to give us another Spider-Man movie. And Sam's like, all right, this is going to be cool. I got this cool idea for a Sandman and all that stuff. And they said, yeah, but to get this check, we need Venom and a love triangle. Think about it. Because my grandkid told me that the kids love that Venom, and we love that grandpa money. So you're putting in Venom, and yeah, his whole on and off with Mary Jane. We need a love triangle. Can we get Black Cat?
See, that's the thing.
And
Like, if
Sam's
we-
like, how about Gwen Stacy?
that's the thing. It probably could have worked with just Venom, but when you add or just the love triangle, but you do the love triangle, and Venom, and Sandman. I'm like, man, look, y'all doing a lot in this movie.
Yeah, but see, there's what the creators want to do, and then there's what, in the words of Emil from Casablanca, Yvonne, I love you, but he pay me. You know? And that's what I see. So I kind of forgive that because the bosses that sign these checks don't care what I think. So I do try and find the stuff that I do get kind of attached to. I'm not attached to the superhero stuff, but I am attached to the character dynamics, the relationship between Matt and Wilson, and the adventures of Wilson Fisk. You know,
The exciting adventures of Wilson Fisk.
dude.
I do-
Crime
I
boss
do like the stuff with
becoming
him.
a politician and finding out that as a crime boss he had no idea what corruption was. I love that story.
Yeah,
It's a good story.
like she was like, you don't have a seat at this table.
Oh, you have a seat at the table, but we ain't gonna let you eat.
Like,
And I'm like,
man.
Ooh, you're on the back foot. All right. The big boss that's been controlling the city is learning who controls the city.
I also, and I know this is just me. That's why I need to go in and just finish my books and just let it, because they're not going to do this on, because this episode would have been great for Kingpin splitting his time between finding Muse and Muse not dying this episode, but finding Muse and also setting it into motion, a nice little play to get all these people under his thumb. To be like, you know what? I'm going to eat, and I'm going to eat your plate. Like, find this lady's information. Find this guy. Like, we going to bend these people to our will because I'm Kingpin. You don't tell me I don't eat. They would have, I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you know what?
he's looking longingly out the window.
Kingpin,
he's back.
Yeah. Changing the book and having Kingpin kind of groom Muse and set him out on the super elite. That would have been a great follow-up to how he groomed Bullseye in season 3. It's like, I did it well with that one. I did it poorly with the girl in Montana, but I'll get it right with you.
And with that, you can have Bullseye show up at the end, or Stinger after the finale, maybe kicking in one of Kingpin's doors saying, you replace me. Boom! Oh, who's coming back for season 2? Oh yeah, we got like a 4-way battle going on. Daredevil don't like Bullseye. Bullseye don't like Daredevil. Bullseye don't like Kingpin. Kingpin don't like Daredevil. But what do we get? Yeah. The girl lives. And not saying you can't be like, I'm not saying I wanted her to die. All I'm saying is like,
no man, we got them Young Avengers coming up.
She kind of gotta die.
No, we got them Young Avengers coming up, and that's 15 years of a locked-in audience that got caught young. They are building nostalgia for 30 years from now, just like George Lucas did with the prequels.
Well, then where's the Young Avengers at?
It's coming after Doomsday.
Another thing I pitched like a long time ago. I'm like, y'all should have did something.
It's
like,
coming after Doomsday.
What's the girl? Haley gonna be 52 by the time y'all get a Young Avengers.
I mean, seriously, it's on its way because they already set up Kamala. They set up Hawkeye 2. They set up Wicca and they set up both Wicca and Speed. They even set up Jeremiah Bradley, Patriot.
Isaiah Bradley. Right?
Isaiah is the granddaughter.
Sorry.
Grandson. Or granddad.
Because grandson it's the grandson that's Patriot. Yeah.
Yeah. And now they've got White Tiger. Okay, so now we've got our Young Avengers going. Oh, and Cassie Lang. So we got our Young Avengers. Team. Like, we have our team together. We finally have enough to get the incident rotating shot that made the Avengers legendary.
But we're not getting enough of them on camera to actually care about them and like them. And then you can set up the whole, the Avengers are off world, but we told you to stay right here because nothing's going to happen. We'll be back in 2 days. And then, boom, guess what? Something happens. And then,
that's after Sam Jackson gets done with all of his golf. Okay.
Oh, man.
So that's coming. And they set up, hopefully, the final piece because Agatha all along set up Wiccan. So I'm like, all right, let's bring it. All right, we got all that stuff in.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's do that. And who knows? Maybe after Doomsday, we'll get a House of M. That could be a good way to bridge the X-Men universe into the Avengers universe. And because, the first Young Avengers story arc was them going to look for the Scarlet Witch in the first place. So.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because, see, I don't know a lot about because I got into Champions, but that's way after the Young Avengers run, sort of. But here, I'll say this because I know we've been running long. I'm gonna throw it to Jay. Jay, final thoughts, and where can they find you?
Okay, final thoughts. I'll use another show as a reference point. Agent Carter, season 1. Loved it.
Okay.
10 out of 10 season. Phenomenal. Great character. Very cinematic. Season 2, it became a network television superhero show.
Yeah,
right?
You're right. Yeah.
And I was disappointed, but I was not mad. I just went, oh, okay, it became a different thing. But I really like season 1, and I can just end it there in my mind, and we're good to go. I'm like not worried about it. I think the reason why this season is more frustrating is because even though I loved seasons 1, 2, and 3 of the Netflix series, this is not like it went network television. This is like it went there's a good show somewhere in here, but we're not getting it. And that's why I'm mad. And that's
It's
why
almost
I'm
like you're not
frustrated.
getting it on purpose. They're like, we're gonna withhold it from you. We're gonna let you see glimpses,
Yes.
but you're
We
not
might
gonna
even let you smell it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, hey, what's that smell? Oh my god! Oh man, is that? Oh my god, that I can smell the crust forming. I can. What's this?
Yeah. What is this? What
No,
is?
no,
What did I
I've
get?
actually, I've actually sort of had something similar where it's like my mom was cooking something. She was like, "Nope, this is for church. No, you can't have it." I was like, "Did you make another one? You just made one? Ah, okay."
For me, yeah, I can see where Jay is at because he's like, you know what, the crust on that steak is perfect. Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
I set the burner up to inferno, so it's got a perfect crust. It's just raw everywhere else.
Yes.
And not
yes.
raw in the good way where it's like, "Oh, this is
No,
a
not
nice."
rare.
This
Yeah.
is not. Yeah, it's not
It's
rare.
still
It's just like,
refrigerator cold.
yeah.
Exactly. And so for me, I think that's a weird place to sit because I feel bad for the creators. I feel bad for the people involved. And by the way, this is me. I already described how I feel about the MCU. So it's like me sitting here going like, "Oh, you're bringing back one of my favorite characters from one of my favorite things that the MCU has ever done. This is going to be amazing."
Yeah,
You did what with
they
it?
knew. They
You
knew
did
it.
what with it? Yeah. So I think it's going to be hard for me. I hope these last two episodes focus a little bit more on Fisk. I'm like super confused about why they even brought Karen back for another scene in the beginning of the film. Because does that mean they're going to bring her back in these last two episodes? Like, why even have that in there? Very confusing. I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't feel like this is a show that's set up. Like, we can go through each one of the properties that is setting up the Young Avengers, and they're wildly different qualities, right? Like Quantumanium setting up Cassie. It's okay. I mean, maybe not.
They did MODOK dirty.
Yeah, they sure did.
They did him dirtier than they did Finn. That was just
Yeah,
man.
that was brutal. Kamala set up great, right? Even been in the films because she was so good. Like that's fantastic. I actually really like Haley Steinfeld as Kate, so I think she's set up well.
Yeah.
Is
Especially
this
her
setting up White
conversation
Tiger
with
well?
Elena, that was just hilarious.
Yeah.
She's like eating her food. She's like, "Oh yeah. I just let myself in."
Yeah.
Well, dude,
But
she's
is
a
this
Black
show
Widow.
setting up a good White Tiger?
She's a Black Widow against a
Yeah.
17-year-old girl.
Yeah,
What did you want her to do? Take the burger out of her hand and then finish her drink before reciting Bible verses?
Oh man. But yeah, I did. I like Yelena and her interaction with most of the characters. So yeah. But sorry, go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying, like, this show didn't set up White Tiger, so if they're going to give us a White Tiger in the last two episodes, it's not setting it up well. The last time we saw her, it was not like she was on the road to recovery and saying, "You know what? I'm going to take up Taekwondo classes so I can be a better person next time around." No, the last time we saw her, she could barely get out of bed because she had all the blood drained out of her.
Yeah.
So I just feel like this show was going to be a good show, and it was going to contribute to my loving the MCU again. And by the way, I just have to say this as a caveat because there's way too many people that are like, "I hate it because it's the MCU now." No, that's not why I dislike it. That's garbage commentary. What I'm saying is I'm addressing the stories that they're giving me and saying, are these of quality or are they not of quality? And some of them are. Some of them are of quality. Some of them aren't. So for me, the show gives me a chance to talk to you guys. That's awesome. Otherwise, I probably would have rather not watched this show. If I'm being
Andor,
completely
I'm
honest.
hoping Andor will be better.
Oh, me too, dude. I think Andor is going to be awesome.
But I don't know. They were peacocking a lot in their trailer. They're like,
I haven't
from the
watched it yet.
critically acclaimed. This is the one you all like. You all loved it last time, didn't you?
Well,
So
they
just
gotta
wait till you come
remind us
back.
that we really like the show, even though we know the main character's got plot armor because we watched him die.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's true. Very
In
true.
the best
That
Star
also
Wars
makes it
movie in modern
scarier for
history.
anyone next to him, though.
Huh?
Yeah.
It makes it scarier for anyone next to him.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you're gonna make it. But sorry, Jay, go ahead. Tell them where you nigga find.
Yeah, they can find me. You can find me over at How Stories Work with Jay Shear, talking about storytelling, talking about me learning what I need to learn to tell better stories. You can find me over there. You can also find me occasionally over at Orange Grove 55. We have the Story Geek show moved over there. So we do those from time to time. We need to have you guys on there at some point in time, but I haven't done that many of them because I haven't had that much time. So I'll get back into it at some point. But yeah, that's where you can find me. And then No Vacancy, my short film is in the middle of its festival run. So I'm going to be out in Pasadena next week at the Pasadena International Film Festival. Cool. That should be really fun. And then after that, I'm pitching to get the feature made. So we got a related feature that I want to make. So we'll see what happens.
Nice. And shouts out to Piff. Piff,
Yeah.
I've been there once. So
have you really?
Fun. Yeah,
awesome.
I went one time. I can't remember what I was covering, but I was covering something. It was fun.
That's amazing.
So, Solar, final thoughts. Make us happy.
Final thoughts.
Tell us where you can find you.
All right. Final thoughts. 1, I love that Vanessa and Fisk are on the same page because I'm there with you, Mike. It was like, oh no, he is alone at this restaurant. And I love that they're establishing the motif of whenever you see Fisk eating away from home, somebody's in trouble. If he's having a cheesesteak, it's extortion. If he's having a pile of sausage, then he's gonna throw somebody an axe. And now, and you know what? I'm not really one for all these conflicts that we see online. Okay, I really don't like social media for that. However, relationship goals.
Yeah.
Hey, babe, this guy really wants you out. I'm sending him to you for you to take out. Thank you. Can I bring you something back? That was that's what a marriage looks like.
I mean, Kingpin really didn't even look. That's
no,
like
he didn't have to.
See, that's the thing. That's like a cold scene where it's like, that's the Kingpin I know.
And could you call Vanessa and ask her if she wants me to bring her something back? I'm like, here. I felt like the black kid in Hook, just like moving around the face, going, "There you are, Wilson." So yeah, but all that being said, worst episode of the season. And, I know I've been defending it the whole time, but I am. My great grandmother used to say, "If a man don't have his word, he don't have nothing." Okay, and I'm a very fair and honest man, and this is the worst episode of the season so far. It's making me concerned because the standard streaming formula is the best episode is supposed to be next, and then we're supposed to be able to exhale and look forward to the finale. That's the whole thing. Build up, penultimate episode, oh my god, big climax. Afterwards, barbecue, and check out the next show. That's what it's supposed to be. But this one, I'm just like, did the bosses come back into the room, guys? Because, I used to say this when we were covering Arrow in season 1. I'm like, the first 5 episodes, the bosses were in the room. They were saying, no, we want this family friendly. We want this to be just like all of our other CW dramas. That's what we're going to. I want love triangles. I want pretty people, and I want angst. All right, I see that you're writing angst. Now, I got to go talk to these people about Dawson's Creek, a revival. And then they close the thing and they're like, all right, can we actually have him like doing flips and superheroes? Yeah, where's that fight choreographer? And okay, yeah, that's all good and all that. Oh, get the NERDSoul guy in. Oh, quick, they're coming. Okay, now he's going to be anxious and we're going to have flashbacks to the island and to his mom. Yeah, look, he's a tortured guy. That's what this episode, it felt like the bosses came back in the room, like your mama checking on you when you were supposed to be doing your homework. So you're watching YouTube, you're doing all that stuff, and then you're like, oh, she's coming up the stairs. Yeah, look.
Looking like you're studying really hard.
And that's what this episode felt like. I still like the show. Okay. And again, as soon as Mama left, we got Kingpin eaten. We got Kingpin eaten. We do have a good relationship dynamic where, yeah, she knows. And, but then the bosses came in and it's like, she knows and she's going to throw hints, giving you the chance to come clean before she breaks up with you in Act 4.
Wow.
And we start playing that one song that was originally written by Tears for Fears, but then we had it covered by whoever it was. I think it was REM or something, So at the end of the day, we can show that you're angst and you're torn and you can't hold on to a relationship while Mad Mad World plays as she packs her stuff and walks away. Like, I can see that meeting. Okay. I can see it. I don't like it. We keep talking about how they cut half the episodes and now we know where they cut them.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, even thinking about it as I speak, we've seen 7 Muse murals, but we've only seen Muse twice, really. Like when he made the mural for White Tiger, I'm betting that we got more on the scene of him draining the black guy's blood.
Yeah.
When he made the small one of Fisk, I bet there was another scene with him draining that person and probably them pleading with the "you don't have to do this" speech. And when he made the big mural of Kingpin, with the bull and him like kissing the bull's butt, I mean, all of these big art pieces, I bet came with a scene of him torturing villains to build the suspense. Like, because the one thing that we didn't get, since they're pulling all these whoop whoop I'm crazy cliches, is we never got a lotion scene. Not one time in Muse's whole thing. And I bet it wasn't lotion scene as in it puts the lotion on the skin scene. The conflict between the serial killer and their victim that lives the longest. We never got that. We never got the "I'm just trying to find my family." It puts the lotion on its skin, or "you're going to be made into art. You will be beautiful" kind of moment. We never got that. But I'll bet you dollars to donuts it was in one of those cut episodes. And I can see where it's in. Jay, you're nodding your head like I'm preaching from the pulpit. So you see it too, don't you?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you're sitting up there, you're like, well, that's you better not hurt my dog.
Yeah.
You don't know what pain is. I mean, serious. I mean, they're doing all the other tropes, so why not throw in the Buffalo Bill? Just so we can build that tension, because we didn't have any tension with our serial killer.
Right.
And a serial killer anywhere in story is all tension, not gore. You're supposed to know that they're going to do something and you're on the edge of your seat because you don't want them doing something to a character that you love. And we didn't get to love any of his victims. And I bet also on that cutting room floor was more stuff with White Tiger's niece.
Yes.
I could see that. I could see them building up a few more things, like some scenes between her and her auntie, who showed up in that episode like, hey, how's it going? I'm the guardian. I'm the one that drove to the hospital. All right, bye. There was probably more stuff with her.
Yes.
And
we didn't even get to see with going back to Muse. We didn't even get to see how he was mixing the blood into the paint, because unlike the comic, which Mike talked about, it was all red.
Yeah,
these were not. These were white and black, and they had some. That would have been better shown to us than told to us by the city supervisor guy, who's like, guess what, buddy? Yeah, just put blood in this paint. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh, that's like over the top.
Or maybe making that connection where
blood never comes out.
Yeah.
Maybe making that connection where we see him mixing something.
Yes.
And then we get the answer from the guy, something like that. But we don't.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we needed more screen time, and we're talking 2 minutes of cutscenes, or 2 minutes, 2-minute cutscenes in every episode. Just him, musing around, like him taking pictures of the psychiatrist. Maybe him make an appointment with the psychiatrist. Maybe him stirring up his paint with the acrylic while somebody is like, where am I? You don't have to do that. I got kids. Something like that, but we didn't get it. We got him stealing a black guy on the street. And then we got, I would be mad at you, but you're 14 and you're doing a stupid thing by going into the sewers to look for a serial killer.
We got the two girls, but even those were like, why did he take their eyes? Like, I don't know why he took.
What's up with the eye symbolism? You know?
Yeah.
Even the I'm going to show you the world the way I see the world.
Yeah.
I mean, we had so many, and again, this is an overall show. Yeah. This is an overall show complaint, but it came to a head here.
Yes.
This is the worst episode because there's an old statement, and there's an old statement in a lot of places, but I learned it in physics when we were talking about studying black holes, which is you can't always see the dog, but there's a dog because you know what he did. You can't see a black hole, but you can see the event horizon. Mm-hmm. And this episode, we couldn't see that they cut 8 episodes, but we saw the result of those episodes cut. Like, we can look at it and go, I bet there was more here. I bet there was more there. I bet there was more here. Like, this seems like the dump episodes. Like, any of you guys out there ever work with silicone and resin, there's always a dump mold because you always end up mixing more resin than you need, and you need somewhere to put it so you can keep using the cup. I don't care if you're doing silicone molding or fiberglassing. You always mix a little too much and you got to put it somewhere. And that's what this episode felt like. It was the dump mold of this season. Okay? And again, that dump mold might have some good art in it. It might be Wilson having dinner while his number one guy that I didn't even see on screen smokes his rival. Like, I was genuinely surprised at that, and I'm like, there you are, Wilson. There you are, Daredevil show. Where have you been for the past half hour?
Yeah. Exactly.
Because I've been waiting. I mean, I was enjoying episodes of 911 Lone Star a little more than this episode. And I'm just keeping it real. But if you guys want to know a little bit more about my rants and my outlooks on storytelling and gaming, then you can catch me. Matter of fact, if I know NERDSoul as well as I do, a little later on today at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at twitch.tv/BID_P. And and this episode's going to be special because I'm going to show people how to subscribe using Amazon Prime instead of their own money. So that's going to be there. And speaking of subscribing, you should probably be hitting that smash button, like button, and the bell notification, leaving a comment here at Nerds.
Right now.
Yeah, I mean, no, seriously, just do this a little bit and that. Or for some of y'all, just go, That's it. That's all you got to do. That's it. That's all. Yeah. All right. Subscribe, thumbs up. That's all. That's all. Just 2 little things. We ain't asking you to take out garbage. It's not like we're saying, you know what? I need help moving the sofa.
It's like
bed,
2
but
clicks.
I'm not going to take the mattress out. So, some of you guys are going, all right, no, he is real. Yeah, because you got to take the mattress out of the sofa bed if you don't move that. Anyway, so you can hit me here. And by the way, Jay, we're getting coffee. We are getting coffee. I will go to Pasadena and ask Mike. He knows I am not a stranger to driving.
Well, actually, it's probably closer to you because they're actually doing the screenings in NoHo.
In NoHo?
Yeah.
That's farther away from me.
Oh.
Even farther than Pasadena? Or is it just further in the opposite direction, I guess?
Okay, so they are both 14 miles north, but NoHo is an additional 7 miles west. Okay.
Got you.
So, yeah, I mean, that's really just how it is. But again, it's 20 miles, and my job commute is 90 minutes every morning. I don't care about going to Pasadena. So we're getting coffee. All right,
Sounds
we're
good to me.
getting coffee.
Sounds
That's
good
the
to me.
whole
So
and we're gonna do pictures and we're gonna post those on the social media like NERDSoul on Instagram, and we're gonna be making those faces like, look, we're in a place. This is
at the
awkward.
same time,
Exactly.
all
This
right.
is
So
not AI.
I'll
So
say,
yeah. So
okay.
back
You
to
know what? I'm
Mike.
gonna go on your statement about your word. My grandfather would always tell me that a man has nothing but his word, so do what you say, boy. So I'm gonna say this to Disney: do what you said in theory, because you knew what you were saying when you brought the whole cast back from Netflix. You knew what you were saying in, I guess, in feeling to the fans of the Netflix show. You knew what you were saying. So do what you say, boy. All right? Do what you say, because you know what you were saying. If you could have just brought back anybody. But nah, you brought
That's
back the
true.
exact cat. You knew what you were saying. Now, with that aside, I'll say for the show that we've got now, I know that a lot was cut. Disney, think about this. This might be a way to shave, well, maybe shave less. Okay, your credits have to run for, I don't know, 3-4 minutes, right? I mean, they run for like 2-3 minutes. So you can just run the credits over the scene. Anime does it a lot. So you can run the credits over the scene, and y'all can give us like one more scene. Now, I mean, that's not gonna save 9 episodes, but it can at least give us something.
You mean like they used to do movies in the late 90s, early 2000s?
Oh yeah.
Do that crane shot moving back where the two characters are still talking.
Yeah. So in this case, we could have got him mixing something in the killer dungeon over the credits, and we're like, what is he doing? What is he working on? Like those kind of things. And maybe like small, maybe you could fit like one scene in there.
Let me jump in there like a white girl.
Kind of save a bit of it.
No, let me jump in there like a white girl. Disney, you solidified the post-credit scene. What's up with that?
True. Every episode could have a post-credit.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's my gift to you. Be who you used to be. Nah.
You had Thanos saying, I'll do it myself. Could have had Muse going, and a little bit of lapis.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even had to show his face. Wouldn't have had to hire the actor.
Just show him from the back, and he's like mixing something and maybe talking to himself.
You're tall and skinny. Put this on. Now stir that bucket. Done.
Okay. It's too late now, Disney, but start from a tight shot directly behind his head, and he's like maybe humming or talking to himself, and he's mixing something. We're pulling back slowly. He's still talking to himself. You got the room sounds. You can hear a train off in the distance because it's one of the old tracks. Pulling back, and then we pull back to the foreground. Has someone still squirming, getting the blood sucked out of him. Cut. Boom. So now we know he's cooking something or mixing something. We see the dungeon. We see the kind of area he lives in. We get a little bit of his personality, sort of. And then we see somebody. Boom. And that's about a minute or two. Now, once again, that's not going to save 9 episodes, but it can help give us a little bit of context into, Vanessa, Kingpin, Muse, something. Because Muse came in here for like 2 seconds and was like, all right, I'm dead. Take it easy.
Yeah. It's almost like he got cut in half by Ewan McGregor after killing Liam Neeson's.
Oh man, yo, I will say one thing. No one has been saved like Darth Maul was saved by Clone Wars. Like I'll just say that. Like, Clone Wars really. Shout out to Dave Filoni. Clone Wars cleaned a lot of the prequels up.
And we have learned that Marvel is not above cloning.
Yep. So
just announced a new Spider-Man. Maybe we're getting the Jackal. Just saying.
Maybe. But yeah, with that said, we'll see. We got 2 episodes left. We'll see what happens. NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. Until the next time that you have to eat a meal quietly by yourself waiting for a would-be attacker. We're just saying, peace.